Yo, what up, fam? It's your boy, Big Walt, back with more Blockchain 411. About to get into this Filecoin business. Filecoin is definitely on the move, and there's some market factors out there that have an impact on why that is. I'm here to put you up on game. Anyway, stay tuned. Let's get into it, fam. Rock with me. So let's jump right into it, fam. The Decrypt headline reads as follows. Filecoin rises 14% amid stagnant day in crypto market. Filecoin is one of the only top coins on the rise today. Now, this article was written on September 5th. Today's September 7th. So you'll have to keep in mind, this market moves so quickly, information becomes stale. Information becomes stale quick as hell. This information is already somewhat stale, but you'll see that, the movement is sort of stabilized a little bit. In either case, let's go ahead and dig into it. Filecoin is on the rise. The coin, which powers a decentralized storage network, has increased in value by 14% in the past day, 28% in the past week. The price of a single Filecoin is now $95, and the market cap for the whole coin is just over $10 billion. Filecoin has the 21st largest market cap out of all cryptocurrencies. Filecoin's rise today comes amid stagnancy or mild decay for other top coins. Bitcoin is sitting pretty at 50K, an increase of 0.55% in the past 24 hours. And Ethereum is up 0.63% on the day at 3,918. Cardano is down 1.7%, and XRP is down 0.35%. All right, Filecoin started to rise on Tuesday when the coin began its ascent from $70. By Friday, it had increased to $77. Then, in a huge jump on Saturday morning, File rose to $84. The price remained steady until Saturday afternoon when Filecoin rose once again to $89 almost in an instant. The scatty upward trajectory has persisted since, bringing the coin to $95. The market for Filecoin isn't hitting anywhere close to all-time highs set at the end of March when Filecoin peaked at $191. And that's more than double what it is now. But this is the highest price since the middle of May. And the fact that it's touched 191 before, that just tells us there's more upside. That's my little add. It's my little extra sauce on it. Anyway, Filecoin is based on IPFS, Interplanetary File System, a decentralized web hosting service built by Filecoin creator Protocol Labs. Lots of NFT projects are beginning to host. Now, this is where it gets important. Lots of NFT projects are beginning to host their JPEGs on IPFS because it is more decentralized than regular domain name hosting systems. This is somewhat of a misnomer. IPFS doesn't so much have to do with domain name hosting systems as it does with centralized file storage. So for instance, if somebody's storing their files on S3, we can just use an example. Parler, the app, was shut down because Amazon decided that they wanted to shut it down. If Parler's website was hosted on IPFS, nobody could have shut it down. Anyway, that's just an example. It's not an endorsement. So again, it's not so much about DNS name hosting as it is about decentralization files, decentralized storage of files. Decentralized DNS is also part of the solution. That's not the primary thing. Anyway, and I'll just read their sentence, which is a little bit ill-informed. Decentralized, it's more decentralized than regular domain name hosting systems on which websites can be taken down without warning. That second part is correct. In May, Filecoin announced a free service called NFT Storage for NFT creators to store their NFTs and any corresponding metadata on Filecoin. The Filecoin protocol only launched in full in October 2020. The project raised $200 million within 30 minutes in 2017. It's a lot of money. I wonder how many millions of dollars is that per minute? My head's not, my, my math ain't that fast. I have to calculate it. Anyway, but the launch was beset by delay after delay. Look, building an interplanetary file system is not an easy thing. So the fact that it took them, 3 years to get her done, I ain't mad at it because it's better to come correct than come fast, if you know what I mean. I need you to do me a favor, fam. Please click that subscribe button and the like button. It might be a small thing to you, but to us it's huge. We're trying to hit this 1,000 subscriber milestone, one subscriber at a time. So YouTube will recognize us and give us access to the tools that will allow us to bring you more and even better content. Thank you for your support, fam. We really appreciate you. So, let's talk about this for a second, right? Like some NFT projects, and I've noticed a couple that I've peeked into, they're actually storing the images on centralized servers, be it AWS or other servers. So I've seen images stored on S3, for instance. Everything will go through Ethereum, but the image itself is on in some S3 bucket. That's cool, but Amazon could still take those images down. So even though somebody's purchased the NFT, they own it outright, it's their property. If that NFT is stored on a typical centralized service, it can be taken down. That means your property can be taken away. And so, I think more savvy NFT creators are publishing their NFTs on IPFS because otherwise you really can't confer ownership. You can't confer ownership if the person doesn't own the actual asset. If some central authority owns the asset, then the individual can't possibly own it. It's like they only own it until that central authority decides that you don't own it anymore. So technically speaking, with a very high value NFT, that's a slightly risky business. So what we have though, the point that I want to make out is the NFT market is partially responsible for driving up the price of Filecoin. If you watch my other videos, and again, I don't give investment advice, but for people who are interested in crypto, I try to warn people away from like these mythical coins that exist for the sake of existing. If you're really interested, in getting into crypto, my recommendation, even though I don't, let me not even say my recommendation, the way I approach it is I look at the project. If the project has intrinsic value, then the coin underpinning that project may very well be seen as valuable, right? And Filecoin, it represents, such a scenario because the Interplanetary File System is like that. It's got high utility. It's providing a great service for the decentralized web, and its value is going to increase the more people continue to use it and depend on it. And so the currency underpinning that, one would assume, would also increase in value as the platform itself increased in value. That's the way the crypto economics of the whole thing work in the first place. Anyway, wanted to hip you to that. Something to think about. And if you haven't dealt with the IPFS, you might want to take a look at it. So, as mentioned, that article was written a couple days ago. You can see Filecoin is not at $95 anymore. It seems to have stabilized around $85, $84. So that's where it's at now, according to Nomics. See the chart. Full view. See the chart, so you can see it had like a heady rise. And it came back down a bit, but it's starting to stabilize, whatever, from the peak. Anyway, one of the other things that's interesting is that they have decided to make it a little easier for NFT creators to use IPFS to store their NFTs. And so, because you can use IPFS to do a lot of things, but the NFT use case, they made some tooling around it to make it easier. And so they came up with this NFT storage utility, and it's based on IPFS Filecoin. So I'm not going to go through all of this, but I'm going to share the link in the description, but you can look at it yourself. But as you can see, it's relatively easy to get started and start storing NFTs. on IPFS via this NFT storage utility. It's free for now. I don't know if it'll always be free. I need to check into it, but wanted to inform you. IPFS is considerably more sophisticated, I guess, than the NFT storage utility. And so everybody should probably learn, at least everybody who's developing in the NFT space should probably learn how to use IPFS. Even people who aren't developing, just as a mechanism for storing your files. You can use IPFS instead of Dropbox. You can use IPFS instead of Google Drive, right? Like, again, if you want to store files in the cloud without using a centralized authority, IPFS is where it's at. Anyway, I have links to this as well as to the documentation for those who are interested. But back to the point, Filecoin is on the rise. As this article indicates, which is my opinion in the first place, is that the hot NFT market has a lot to do with that, since lots of NFTs are stored on IPFS to provide true ownership of the digital asset that is tamper-proof and is censorship-proof. And I'll probably do a whole nother video on censorship. These big tech companies are getting real saucy, dictating what can and can't be put on their platforms. And some things, may seem reasonable because there's some grimy stuff out there. But they kind of, some of them take it overboard, and they start moralizing on things that, are actually like legal. But they've just determined that they don't want it on their platform, or what we deem as free speech. Corporations don't want us to have that free speech. I'm not trying to get political. I'm just saying the imperative or the drive for something like IPFS, a decentralized platform for file storage, is made clear and plain based on the actions of some of these large tech corporations. Anyway, that's it for me on this topic for today. I'll see you next time I pull up on the block. Until then, holla.